It's summertime, baby. The weather is hot. School is out for some, but for some of us, we're still in the mood to do some learning. So today I thought it would be fun to share my self-teach methods with you today. I'm going to take you back to high school real quick because I was someone who did very well academically. It took a little bit to get to that point, but I did enjoy many aspects of learning in school. And I always loved in English class when we would talk about film and analyze movies and different types of shots and what certain angles used in films mean to the imagery side of this story. We did it for Romeo and Juliet, and my favorite lesson I won't forget was when we watched Rear Window by Alfred Hitchcock my senior year, and that was my favorite lesson. It has really stuck with me all of these years later just because there's a lot of interesting framing techniques in that movie, and the watch experience with my class was just such a wonderful memory. All that long-winded explanation to say that admittedly in this process I am a bit boring, academic, however you want to say it. I sit there and watch movies with a notepad and I take notes over what I like in a particular scene, be it the color grading, the lighting, the composition. Heck, sometimes it's just the costumes and the way that the actors look that just really sell a scene for me. So being able to break that down and think, okay, what is it that looks really good here? What is speaking to me? What can I draw from this? And then apply that to my own work. And I do it for the storytelling too. A lot of the times when I'm taking notes, I will draw little thumbnails of what the scene looks like whenever I'm drawing something like composition or framing. But whenever I'm looking at the storytelling aspects, I will instead just write down the scene. I will write down what is the character doing and how is it symbolic? What does it mean to his character? What does it mean to the story? Those sorts of things. It can be a little boring, and it can definitely be a challenge to kind of turn that part of your brain off when you're trying to watch something just for enjoyment. And so what I try to do is I try to watch something just for fun the first time, and then any time after that, I can break it apart as much as I want. And I do this for movies, I do it for TV shows, YouTube vlogs, even music videos. There's just so many different forms of visual media that you can take and break down and analyze and bring it to your own creative work. My next tip is to steal like an artist, which is the title of a book that is on my to-read list. I just have to get my hands on it and set some time aside to actually be able to read a book. But the premise of the book is they just have immaculate taste. We are collectors at the very core of our being. We collect media from all sorts, books, paintings, film, music, and it's curated to our tastes, whether we do it consciously or not. And whenever we're artists ourselves, we end up taking a lot from the collection that we've curated for ourselves. I, in particular, draw a lot of inspiration from 80s movies, and now recently I've been getting super into French New Wave, and so I've been analyzing those techniques from those directors. And Wes Anderson is also a director who has drawn a lot of inspiration from the French New Wave, and I've always loved his work, and so I draw a lot of inspiration from that. And what we end up doing is our work becomes this amalgamation. All of these techniques that we've just collected over the years, and what we end up finding is that there's something missing, and we end up twisting it and putting ourself and our creative voice into it, and it becomes this new spectacular thing because originality is dead. We've been on the earth for so long, and there's been so many people throughout the years that there's not really anything new. But what you can do is you can learn from the artists that have come before you and that are even your peers, and see what they're doing and what you think is missing, and just twist it to put your own voice in. And the way that I like to do this is I like to find artists that I enjoy. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's on social media like Instagram, and then sometimes it requires a little more digging and a little more research into finding what inspired certain scenes in, say, movies or old paintings. It's able to bring a additional layer of awareness and understanding of what went into that piece. I, for myself, draw a lot of inspiration from Rembrandt paintings for lighting whenever I'm working on something a little moodier. And so understanding the techniques of the great artists, they didn't really have artificial lights, so they used windows and they used daylight and how that fell on their subject. And so whenever, even if I'm using artificial light, I can use that idea of light placement in order to create a similar effect. I'm gonna make a lot of bad art along the way, and that's okay. Everyone makes bad art, and you don't have to share it. If you're not proud of it, that's okay. It was just practice and experimentation, and it's those failures that allow you to learn and grow from it. And the next time that you do it, it'll be a little bit better, and then the next time you do it, it'll be better than that, and you'll just keep improving from then on. Because whenever you are drawing inspiration from other artists who say they maybe have access to equipment that you don't have, and you're just trying to use what you have access to, it's not going to look exactly the same. I may have a camera and I may go try and recreate something from a movie I like, but at the end of the day, it's not going to look the same because I don't have access to a soundstage. I don't have access to the types of cameras or lighting that they have. So it's just going to end up looking different. What I can learn from that is, all right, this didn't work. What can I do to use the techniques of camera movement or the lighting setup and make it work for what I have? And then I end up making something that is not only more accurate to my creative voice, but it looks better than when I try to copy someone else's. You're not alone. You have wonderful peers who are in the same industry or in the same creative space as you, and there are so many people who are absolutely willing to give advice and share the knowledge that they've acquired over the years. There's wonderful places like YouTube where there is just a plethora of creatives who do not gatekeep what they've learned, because we don't do that. That's bogus. That are more than happy to share what they know because they didn't come out of the womb learning how to be an expert at whatever craft they're in. Understand that you're not alone in this. It's okay to look for a mentor. I love my mentor. He's taught me so much and he's one of my best friends. And we had so many fun creative days and we just feed each other's creative spirit. And so finding someone like that is a wonderful thing. So I encourage you, don't feel like that you're alone in this. There are so many Discord servers and spaces online where you can just meet creative people and ask for help sometimes. Self-taught doesn't always mean absolutely alone. It just, at the end of the day, it just means that you didn't take the traditional route of art school. I tried doing art school. It wasn't for me. My brain excelled in a school atmosphere until it didn't, and that's okay. I found something that worked better for me, and I feel a lot of enjoyment in being able to do self-study. But those are all the hot tips and tricks that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it could help you in your creative journey and maybe could give you some motivation, some inspiration. And if you would like to see more, you can subscribe, leave a like, all the good YouTube jazz, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!